as we say in the church, and are we yet alive? Glad to be here with you this morning on another installment of the Power Hour, hosted each day by yours truly, Mark Kelly Tyler, and Bishop Dwayne David Royster, who is somewhere enjoying himself this morning. And I'm happy for him. He's got to be the hardest working person that I know personally, and he's getting some well-deserved downtime. So enjoy yourself, and stop taunting us on social media with how much fun you're having. At least make us think you're miserable away from us. Some of you follow him on social, so you know what I'm talking about. He does not look like he's missing us at all. I got to tell you. This morning, we are coming to you live from the studios of WURD in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania's only black talk radio station. And I'm here in my virtual studio, but as always, got to have somebody like actually holding it down, making sure that everything works. And so behind the scenes, making sure that not only does the show go forward as it's supposed to, but that I'm FCC compliant, is none other than the queen herself, Queen Kawesa. What's good, Kawesa?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I mean, think about this. Today, get to interview the president of my alma mater, Clark Atlanta University. So that'd be like you interviewing the president of Hampton, so I'm excited.
I hear you on that. That is exciting. It's definitely exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in an HBCU, like black college presidents are like bishops in the church. They're revered, are they not?
Yeah, you're right. I have to admit that you're right. I know that back when I was in college, I had an internship, and the president of Hampton, Dr. Harvey, he was interviewed by the place that I was interning at, and we just like kind of chatted with him. It was like I was standing near royalty, and I was like, what? I don't know why I felt that way. He's human, but I was just like, oh my gosh, President Harvey. It was crazy. But yeah.
It is, I'm telling you. It's like, I got friends who are going to PWIs. In fact, I actually have one degree from a PWI, and so the president comes in there and it's just kind of like, that's the president, there's the dean. But like you said, HBCU, you could be a former president. And it's like, oh. So we're looking forward to that conversation, because down at Clark, they're giving money away. So you definitely want to hear this conversation about an HBCU that has found a way to pay the debt for students. But before we get there, Kawesa, tell us about the weather, tell us about the traffic. I mean, how's it going out there in the real world?
Not too bad. I know that the weather, the temperature's of course going to go up. We're in summer, so that's what's going to happen. But traffic was, for me, not bad at all. So I don't I don't know what's going on. Knock on wood. Maybe people are like on vacation. I don't want to jinx it, but I've been doing well with my travels the past couple of days as I'm coming in. No debris on the road, no potholes. I'm not detouring anywhere, which is a beautiful thing. And all is right with the world because I have my car back, so I'm happy.
Well, there you have it, folks. Kawesa says all is good with the world, and she's rolling on four wheels again. You should get a motorcycle.
I've been on a motorcycle before. I don't feel super safe, though, on it.
You don't feel safe on a motorcycle?
I'm afraid, like, when it tips over, like, I don't want to, like, lose my legs or anything. That's my fear.
Oh,
I know,
Lord.
I know.
Lose your legs.
I just like, I
Okay.
don't know. You watch those action movies and like they slide the motorcycle. And I'm like, this motorcycle just landed on your whole leg. How
That's
are
why
you
you rock.
walking?
That's why we get you a whole leather outfit, see?
The leather will protect me.
Yeah, at least from
Okay.
sliding.
Okay.
Can't protect you from all the rest of it. So listen, I tell you, there's a lot going on in the world today, and glad to see the folk on YouTube this morning. Glad to see Catfish Hillbilly and Cheryl and Nikki O'Tim and others who are listening and viewing from that format. And let's see, are we up on Facebook? Yeah, I don't see us on Facebook yet, so I'm not sure we're supposed to be up, but we'll look into that. Let me just lay out to you some of the big stories that are happening on today, and then delve into a few of them, a little deeper. So Simone Biles in the Olympics is out of another event, and actually, someone did a nice piece, a write-up on all of the African Americans who are competing in the Olympics this year. I mean, in events like water polo, of all places, and just kind of a very diverse group. But some of the big name folk are really having some struggles. Simone Biles, saying that, just her mental health is more important to her right now. Not sure what this means for the rest of the week and other competitions, but if she never wins another medal, she will still be regarded by a lot of people as the GOAT, the greatest of all time, as it relates to women gymnasts in Olympic events. So we have to continue to watch and see what happens. I'm certain by tomorrow we'll have a little bit more information on that as well. Also big in the news, wow, masks are coming back. I hope you didn't throw them all away. I hope that you did not get rid of all of your disposable masks. And yeah, because more than likely they're coming back, especially in hot spots. That's what it looks like the CDC is recommending, that it is saying that you are to, at least when you're visiting those hot spots, and let's be honest, it's mostly the American South right now, just carry a mask, especially even if you're vaccinated, for indoor use in particular. I know that this is confusing, trying to keep up with all of the back and forth, but I mean, listen, you got neighbors who don't really care about you. Right now, they're independent. Their independence is more important than anything else, and so it is what it is. As we said at the very beginning, masks are going to probably be with us, I don't know, especially during cold and flu season, forever. So let that be your guide. In Philadelphia, the district attorney is getting ready to try Officer Pownall in the killing of David Jones, shooting him in the back as he fled away. We're going to have the DA on at some point, because he is going before the state Supreme Court right now, and he's trying to get something clarified before they go to trial. Now, this is, again, there are not many district attorneys who would try a white officer for shooting a black suspect running away. And he is trying him for murder of David Jones. But there's this little thing in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania state law apparently says, under certain circumstances, you can, as an officer, shoot somebody in the back running away. Problem is, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled 3 decades and a half ago that you cannot. Now, I'm not a constitutional scholar. I will admit that. But I must say that I do not remember anyone ever saying that a state constitution can take precedence over the United States Constitution. I'm sorry, Supreme Court. So a state Supreme Court cannot take precedence over the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States. It's kind of the other way around. And so Larry Krasner is trying to make sure that this is straightened out before they go to trial, apparently in a move to make certain that when you get to jury instructions, because this is key, that the jury is instructed properly about what the law says. So there's a lot going on here. It's a lot of the wrangling before the trial. And yeah, I mean, so hopefully he could talk about the things. I mean, it's an ongoing case, so he's only going to be able to talk about so much. But I would imagine that which is out in the public is something that he could comment on. And if not, we could get some other legal experts to come on to talk about it. But again, this is really fascinating to me, and one to watch, because these type of events have dominated not just the news, but our lives for the last year and a half. Those are some of the big stories, but the biggest story of all yesterday, it was the testimony of 4 Capitol police officers about their experience on January the 6th, the insurrection, or as Trump supporters say, a bunch of tourists walking through the Capitol. Hey, you be the judge. You be the judge. Yeah, hey, I'm sorry. Facebook people, welcome to YouTube Live. Facebook's down. You know, I don't know, apparently maybe we said something about them on yesterday. I don't know. I try to be nice to Mark Zuckerberg. He holds so much of my life in his hands. So I know it was nothing that I said. But, you know, as we say in the church, touch your neighbor. Virtually touch your neighbor. Tell them, come on over to YouTube. But it was some riveting testimony. Kawesa, do you have Officer Harry Dunn's testimony? Let's hear. This is Officer Harry Dunn testifying yesterday about his experience, and we had to bleep it out because he was very explicit, and I know a lot of the Congress people in C-SPAN and others were like scrambling for the thing to beep it, but it just came out just as it was. Go right ahead, Kawesa.
More and more insurrectionists were pouring into the area by the speaker's lobby near the rotunda, and some wearing MAGA hats and shirts that said Trump 2020. I told them to just leave the Capitol, and in response they yelled, "No, man, this is our house. President Trump invited us here. We're here to stop the steal. Joe Biden is not the president. Nobody voted for Joe Biden." I'm a law enforcement officer, and I do my best to keep politics out of my job. But in this circumstance, I responded, "Well, I voted for Joe Biden. Does my vote not count? Am I nobody?" That prompted a torrent of racial epithets. One woman in a pink MAGA shirt yelled, "You hear that, guys? This voted for Joe Biden." Then the crowd, perhaps around 20 people, joined in screaming, "Boo!" No one had ever called me a while wearing the uniform of a Capitol police officer. In the days following the attempted insurrection, other black officers shared with me their own stories of racial abuse on January 6th. One officer told me he had never, and in his entire 40 years of life, been called to his face, and that streak ended on January 6th. Yet another black officer later told me he had been confronted by insurrectionists in the Capitol who told him, "Put your gun down and we'll show you what kind of you really are." To be candid, the rest of the afternoon is a blur. But I know
yeah, Officer Dunn, you're forgiven for the fact that, as you just said at the end of that, as it trailed off, that the rest of the afternoon was a blur. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could understand why, as a Capitol police officer risking your life, thinking that, you know, you're there to guard the Capitol against, like, quote unquote, terrorists from somewhere else, to have a bunch of your neighbors roll in and call you an effing N-word, to tell you that you didn't vote for who you voted for, to call your colleagues N-words and threaten their lives, put that gun down and we should kind of N-word you are, to tell you that we're here because Donald Trump invited us. Yeah, I think we can all forgive you for the fact that at that point, your memory gets foggy, and it is kind of a blur after that moment. Jeez. All of that, mind you, and he showed great composure. And yet, in Philadelphia, Officer Pownall was about to go on trial for shooting David Jones, a black man, in the back as he ran away. Boy, you see how this is? You see? Juxtapose those two things right there. Man has a real threat in his face. People trying to kill him with the noose outside. He didn't shoot anybody. Fast forward or rewind to Philly, and you got the Pownall David Jones case. Boy, I tell you, this is, I don't even know what to say. I'm like Officer Dunn right now. It's all kind of a blur. Go to work, trying to do your job, trying to protect a bunch of folk that you know are racist, who are passing laws against your best interest, mind you. But you do your best as a professional to protect them and their families, and then a bunch of their friends roll in, threaten your life, and call you an effing N-word to boot. That's January 6th. That's not a group of tourists walking through taking Polaroids. Some of you young folk don't know what that means. Taking selfies. No, these were domestic terrorists. We got to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about sunnier news. I'm sorry I had to start there because that's like the news of the day. But when we come back, let's talk about a good news story as we get closer to Friday. It's not quite Feel Good Friday yet, but we're going to talk to the president of Clark Atlanta University about something great there. 6:22 in the morning. Don't go anywhere. It's the Power Hour. We'll be right back.
Build skills needed for employment through the Philadelphia Skills Forward Initiative, a free upskilling program for workers displaced by the pandemic, those whose jobs are at risk for automation, and black and brown workers. Complete courses focused on digital literacy, career management, and professional skills for a successful career. Get started today at chamberphl.com.
What's up, Philly? It's Solomon. With so much uncertainty surrounding the upcoming school year, now is the time to take charge of your child's education and give them the tools to make learning fun and safe. Check out Commonwealth Charter Academy, which can make a difference in your child's life. Commonwealth Charter Academy, or CCA, is a K-12 public cyber charter school with nearly 20 years of experience providing a flexible, stable, online education in the comfort of your home. Enroll today at ccaeducate.me. Your child will receive 1. A world-class accredited education streamed directly into your home at no cost to you. 2. A laptop, headphones, assistance with accessing the internet, and learning materials all provided at no cost to you. 3. A safe learning environment with no bullying or security concerns. Join the nearly 2,500 students from Philly who already attend CCA. The school year begins September 8th. Enroll now at ccaeducate.me.
Save the date. Thursday, August 26th for WURD Radio's annual Founders Day celebration, honoring the life of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. This year, we'll be both in person and virtual. Stay tuned to WURD Radio and WURDradio.com for more information. That's Thursday, August 26th for our annual Founders Day celebration. Exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com, the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. Be there this Friday at the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour as Tiffany Bacon broadcasts live from the J.L. Wright Community Center, 3320 Haverford Avenue, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And stand with WURD Radio to amplify voices of the Black community as a digital 4WURD member for as low as $5 per month and receive a free gift for signing up. That's this Friday at the J.L. Wright Community Center, 3320 Haverford Avenue, or visit WURDradio.com. Start or renew your 4WURD membership today. You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent Black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. And so, again, we're happy for Bishop Royster, who's getting some well-deserved rest. And I can't believe they let me just pilot this ship alone You know he's really here to like make sure I don't go off the rails. You do know that's what it's about, right? Anyway, get rested, my brother. Boy, I'm still just kind of in a blur like Officer Harry Dunn. We could talk about that more, however, on the other side of the next break in the last segment of the Power Hour. But this morning, we are delighted to have with us somebody who has been sought after a lot this week. Because when you have the president of an HBCU,
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Independent Black Media.
try that again. Are we back, Kwesa?
We're back.
Man, that's like gremlins in our tech this morning. It's all good, though. So, folks, listen, it's not every day that you pick up your electronic device and you open up an email from your alma mater, and it's the president of your school saying, I'm giving money away. First question on my mind is, was it retroactive? But it was not. Good morning, Dr. George French, president of Clark Atlanta University. Welcome to Philly.
Good morning, my frat brother, my alum, my brother in ministry. So glad to be with you.
Thank you so very much for getting up and being with us on this morning. And I got to tell you, you have this is how you start off your tenure as the president. You've been in the job for about 2 years, and I got to believe that you have just endeared yourself with future generations of Clark Atlanta University Panthers. Talk to us about the decision. First of all, how is this even possible for an HBCU to wipe out the debt for students? I mean, can you explain all of this to us?
Absolutely. And let me tell you, first of all, let me tell you to you and to Bishop, I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, I woke early in the morning to be with you, but it was worth it. When you reached out to me and I looked at my phone and you extended the offer, I was glad, because anytime that I can advocate for any HBCU, and particularly Clark Atlanta University, I'm honored. So we actually, the COVID pandemic, of course, is the first pandemic of this nature with these repercussions since 1918. So the influenza of 1918. So it's been a century. So basically, no one alive experienced the last pandemic. So no one knew what to expect, nor did the students of Clark Atlanta University. I was in my boardroom one day in March, and we had to make the decision for the safety of our students, faculty, and staff to migrate from an on-ground to an online platform within 2 weeks. 4,000 students who were in the classroom, we had to tell them you have to go back home to 42 different cities in the United States and actually 30 countries. You have to go back home. And since they had to go back home, many of them didn't have laptops. So I purchased laptops for my children before, but I'd never gone to the store and said, give me 4,000 laptops. But I did. I paid about $3 million of institutional funds for those. We gave every student, graduate and undergraduate student, a laptop. We sent hotspots for those who didn't have internet access. We gave them checks to get on airplanes, on buses. We gave them checks for medicine and for food. We did everything that alma mater, which, of course, you know in Latin means other mother. We did everything that a mother would do to take care of their child. So here we are in pandemic. The students are home for the last year, and I started getting these calls, Reverend Tyler, from students. I started getting emails and texts and they were saying they're concerned because they didn't have money, would not have money because of COVID to pay off their balances. So they wouldn't be able to return to school in the fall. So I sat with my leadership team. We actually decided to use about $2 million, and we are using $2 million of about $1.25 million, about $1.2 million of federal HERF funds, which are part of the CARES Act, to wipe out student balances, and we used another $800,000 of from another fund, which is institutional. So we came up with $2 million, and we said, let's see how many students have balances. 900 students had balances. So we applied that $2 million to the balances and told all of our students, we need you, we want you, we love you, we're proud that you persevered over a year, and because of that, you don't need to lose sleep at night wondering how you're going to pay off this bill to the university. So that's what we did, Reverend.
That is an amazing story, first of all. I mean, I'm not surprised, because to me, that's the embodiment and the spirit of what Clark has always been. And just HBCUs, you know, our producer who answered when you called in, Kawesa, is a graduate of Hampton. And so, you know, we know this is just what we do in moments like this. But I'm sure there had to be some conversations, right? Because listen, in the church, you know how it is. You get ready to help a family that's in trouble. There's always that person invariably who will jump up and say, well, if we can't help everybody, we shouldn't help anybody. And people are going to always think that they could come to the church for this. Did you have to wrestle with that conversation about paying these balances, and it might be setting a precedent?
You know, it's interesting that you contextualize it with the church, because I began pastoring when I was 29, and before I began pastoring, I was a deacon in the Baptist church. So I understood those conversations and those long debates when I was a deacon, and I had 12 other deacons to convince. But Reverend, it changed when I became a pastor. Thank God. So as far as my team goes, I listened to the persuasive argument, but at the end of the day, I knew what I needed to do. And the good thing was I was one of about 3 presidents nationwide that worked closely with the United Negro College Fund to get the CARES Act passed. I mean, we worked from sunup into midnight, many days, working with Democrats and Republicans, the House and the Senate, to get this bill passed. So after doing all that, it was no doubt in my mind that we were going to do the right thing. And one of the tenets of the CARES Act is that you do concentrate on those who have the greatest need. And inevitably, and within the very situation, those who had the most need received the most help, because of you had the balance. So if you had a large balance, you got the most help. Similar to that, we sent out checks averaging $1,200 per student twice during COVID to our students, based on their need, based on the EIC, earned income, on your taxes, which indicates what your family contribution, that's what it is, family contribution. So we sent out checks twice. So some students receive as much as $1,200 in the mail from Clark Atlanta University. So we tried to answer you, we tried to meet the needs of all of our students, but we definitely met the needs of the most needy first. And I'm unapologetic for that. And that was my point about the deacon and the pastor. As the president, I can listen to all that you have to say, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do what's right for my students, whether I get unanimity or consensus, or I just have to go it alone. I'm going to make that decision.
Wow, folks, we're listening to Dr. George French, the president of Clark Atlanta University. They made the news this week in paying the debt for all the students in their student body, the unpaid debt. You don't have to like call anybody by name, but I'm sure students have reached out to you by email. Some may have seen you on campus. do any of those stories or communications stand out to you about the reaction people had in finding that their debt was paid in full?
One that really stands out to me, Reverend, is a young lady from Ohio who had contacted me persistently, and her persistence, and I kept telling her when she would email me, we're looking for ways, we hope we'll be able to help, and I couldn't tip her off because you know what it is to give someone false hopes. So I couldn't tip her off at all. I just told her we're working on it. And then instead of calling her to say, well, guess what's going to happen tomorrow, she heard it with the rest of the student body who were all ecstatic. And this young lady was not going to be able to return in August to school. And now she's super excited that she'll be able to return. Those are the stories that I'm hearing every single day. And students who, like your producer from Hampton University, they have true appreciation for this HBCU experience. And what you get at HBCUs is what you get nowhere else. Okay? And that's what we demonstrated through Clark Atlanta. And several of my colleagues, Reverend, have called me since then at other presidents of other colleges and universities, and they're following suit. And I'm so glad that they are. And there were a couple who actually did it before Clark Atlanta University, and I'm proud of them. So I'm hoping that more and more of us will look at the Federal Register, look at the allowable costs very carefully, and make the decision to spend the money on the students. Because the bottom line with that is it's such an unrestricted, the CARES Act is so unrestricted. Institutions could use money to buy more technology, increase their infrastructure for so many things. But I'm hoping that so many will choose to use those funds directly for our students.
Well, let me just say, I think that is absolutely the right thing to do, because you never go wrong when you invest in people and when you put people first. And I mean, personally, I'm listening to the story, Dr. French, and, I have to fight the tears back because as a student at Clark, first person to go to a 4-year college, and my family didn't know anything about it, was not prepared for it, and just kind of was able to get in that first semester. Every semester I was in that little special room during registration that they put you in to plead my case, like that persistent young lady from Ohio. And so
Yeah.
I can only imagine, just the tears that flowed in some of those households to get that news. This is incredible. We applaud you, and I'm glad that other HBCUs are following your suit. Leadership matters. I got a couple of minutes. I want to ask you real quick, what does the future of Clark and other HBCUs look like post-COVID? I mean, hybrid, back to normal. Is this gonna be a real game changer?
This will be a game changer, and we'll never. This will be a new normal. And while for some that's a negative, we always try to find the sunny side of any story. So for us, with 4,000 students on ground, for us to realize that we can have 4,000 online, that means that I'm saying to my team, at every cabinet meeting, when I normally ask you, how are we looking on enrollment, how are we looking next semester for having our 4,000 students back, instead my question is, do we have our 4,000 on ground, and how many will we have online? Should we have 1,000, 2,000 online? How can we reach that student in California who desperately wants to attend Clark Atlanta University? Mom and dad are helping to raise money for tuition, but they won't be ready for another year and a half. So why should you wait a year and a half in this environment when we have the backbone, the technology, for you to go ahead and enroll in Clark Atlanta University now? Not fully online for 4 years, but you can do it for the next year. That's 2 semesters to go. And I want you to find out, run the inquiry, what are the predominant classes that they would need to finish. And then I need you to put together an online class to meet their needs so that they can go ahead and graduate from Clark Atlanta University, finish that last semester online, and be more productive citizens with that Clark Atlanta degree in hand. That's what higher education should start to look like, has started to look like, and at the end of the day, it's going to look vastly different also, Reverend, when you look at Google and Microsoft and Apple. Apple, who's announced that the Propel Center will be at one of the schools within the Atlanta University Center, either at Spelman Morehouse, Clark Atlanta University, or Morehouse School of Medicine. So, but when that happens, we're going to have cutting-edge technology on campus. So what it looks like in the future is you walk into a finance class, and instead of your regular professor, Dr. Jones, teaching, he has a hologram of the world's top financier right there, who's actually in Germany, but the hologram technology actually makes it look like he's standing directly in the classroom. Same way when you go to the emergency room, you get in a car accident, and you want the very best surgeon, he's right there. But he also brings in a hologram of someone who's in Paris, who's the top surgeon, who's watching his every move, telling him, no, go ahead and cut now. It's time to do this. It's time. That's the future of education, and that's what's really being tested in laboratories today. And we are so very close. We're closer than most citizens really know to that type of technology, that type of learning experience within the classroom. That's where we are.
Well, Dr. French, thank you. Listen, I'm out of time, but, man, you are an incredible interview. I'm going to get you back on again, I promise you. Best to you and everybody on campus. That's Dr. George French, president of Clark Atlanta University, leading during this COVID moment. This is the Power Hour. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere.
A Night of Passion makes a married doctor question his assumptions about love, lust, and monogamy. In The Marriage Pass, a tale of domestic suspense from Brianna Cole, smart, sexy, and filled with drama. The Marriage Pass explores the boundaries of a relationship by taking the what if of a free pass. One partner's consequence-free night with their greatest temptation to a new level. Pick up your copy of The Marriage Pass by Brianna Cole today, everywhere where books are sold. And for more information, visit BriannaCole.com. That's BriannaCole.com.
Stage Door, focusing on arts and culture in and around Philadelphia. Hosted by Tiffany Bacon and co-moderated by Jeffrey Page of the Philadelphia Theater Company. Part of The Source, Fridays at noon, exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com, the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. Sponsored by New Voices sponsor Comcast, NBC Universal, and Pico.
Hey WURD family, did you hear? It's official. The Colorectal Cancer Alliance just announced the new age for colon cancer screenings has been officially lowered to age 45 for everyone. If you are 45 or older, it's time to get screened. Go to WURDradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner to register for your free at-home screening test. Did you know colon cancer is largely preventable with on-time screening? And there's a 90% survival rate when caught early. African Americans are 20% more likely to get colon cancer and about 40% more likely to die from it than most other groups. So for the next 3 months, you can go to WURDradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner for your free at-home screening test. A screening navigator will contact you to ask a few questions and help you get screened. It's that simple. Again, just go to WURDradio.com, click on the Go to Know banner, and fill out the form to request your free at-home screening test. Go to Know today.
Need to replace your Social Security card? In most states, you can request one online with a My Social Security account. A My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal earnings history and benefit status. You can also get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
This report sponsored by America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses. 95 southbound getting busy. Cotman down the bridge through the ongoing construction. Again, Allegheny through Girard. Northbound looks good. Westbound Vine Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway a bit slow. On the Schuylkill westbound, traffic getting jammed further west. Blue Route out through 202. Left lane blocked with ongoing construction there. Eastbound side looks pretty good so far this morning. VA Turnpike got no major problems there. 55 northbound from Deptford into 42 now beginning to get busy. Don't overpay for glasses. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for just $69.95. The exam alone is worth $50. That's not just a better deal, it's America's Best. Book your exam online today. In certain states, eye exams are provided by independent ophthalmologists. See stores for details. For more traffic information, log on to SIGAlert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a word weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
Sunny skies and a warm summer day, but not all that humid, a high of 87 this afternoon. Humidity increases tonight. Storms arrive later tomorrow, could turn severe, a high of 84 degrees. Those storms coming with a cold front, which will clear us out for Friday. Decreasing humidity, lots of sunshine Friday, and a high of 86. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Woo! Welcome back to the Power Hour. Man, that was a great interview. Did you like that, Kawesa?
Oh, I most definitely did. I did.
I'm serious. I was like really getting emotional thinking about that. Because I literally was that student that had to, no cell phones in 1987 to 1991. And sitting in that room, couldn't like text home and had to like go and find a long distance to call California. Like, I don't know, Mom. I think they serious this time. They're not gonna let me in. Like, pray harder. And I never missed a semester. And like every time something happened, I could only imagine if sitting in that room, all of a sudden somebody came out and said, all your debt is forgiven. Oh, man. So, and did you say your mom went to a HBCU?
Yeah, she did. She went to Central State University. Yeah.
Your mom is a marauder?
She is.
And you're a pirate?
I am.
So you all only like HBCUs that are like pirate related mascots?
I guess so. I didn't even think about it. I never made that connection. I never even thought about that.
Leave it to me. You now find those obscure things.
Oh my gosh.
So my seminary is literally, Payne Seminary was right next door to Central State, and their histories are tied together along with Wilberforce University. Crazy small world. I mean, these are the stories that we need to hear more of, and I'm just excited about it. So thank you, and thanks to your mom for putting you on the right path as well.
Yeah, thanks, Mommy Mathis.
Yeah, so listen, folks, I tell you, again, that is, I keep thinking about this, and I'm saying to, if people in my circle who are, like fellow pastors, for example, we're having these same conversations, so to hear Dr. French say, yeah, sure, people are coming back on campus, but you're crazy if you think we're going to let this moment pass by and we're not going to find a way to, go deeper into the virtual climate. To be able to have, as he said, an econ professor in Germany providing a real-time lecture to students in Atlanta. This is a game changer. And so what does that look like then in your industry? So in the church, as I say every Sunday, when we return to Mother Bethel's physical in-person worship in September, that the virtual service that we put together, it does not go anywhere. In fact, we're going to put more resources into it, more, finances into it to make it even better and sharper and, more accessible to more people, because what we have recognized is that in this moment, COVID, if it hasn't given us anything, it's also given us the ability to see that there's a lot that we have been leaving on the table. And so wherever, whatever your thing is, I say to you and I implore you, find those opportunities to carry this on beyond it. In fact, one of the stories I wanted to talk about yesterday that I didn't even get a chance to, but it makes sense right now, is that, across the country, a lot of parents are choosing to continue to homeschool their children. So in a lot of school districts, they're given the opportunity to have a hybrid option for people who are afraid to come back to the classroom. But in some places where that is not an option, parents are just simply saying, no, I'm good. You know what? My child actually gets better grades in this setting than they do in, a regular classroom. There are too many distractions, or I'm afraid of, violent encounters. I'm just, whatever it is. I just, parents don't want the hassle. And so what people are recognizing is that this is an opportunity to pivot. My main argument for it is that the world is full of introverts and extroverts. But the majority of what we do is catered around extroverts. People who like to be out there, like to engage, who do better with other people around them.
This is WURD Radio. 96.1 FM. And 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media.
Did I freeze again, Kwesa?
You did, but you're back now.
So the question is, what did I look like when I froze?
Like you were kind of in mid sentence. I thought you had paused, like, those pregnant pauses.
You thought I dropped a pregnant pause on you all?
Just a little bit.
They were all like, there's Red again with them pregnant pauses. Sorry, folks. The internet is like very unstable today, but don't worry. We only have about a minute left to get through all of this. But, as I'm just saying, we can't continue to act like, there's only one type of person in the world, because there is not. Catfish Hillbilly says, I looked very pensive. Yeah, I mean, I see you, Robert Garland. Yeah, the extrovert, introvert thing. It's, it's right brain, left brain. But the thing is that we normalize everything around the largest group of people. And I understand why that's necessary sometimes, but it's not the only way. And so we have to make room for other lanes and other options. And I just, I applaud Dr. French. I mean, look, there's some people who can't wait to get back to normal, and they're going to abandon everything that they learned during COVID-19. Shame on you. You don't have to abandon it. You can bring it along with you, and the people who are going to do best going forward will certainly be the people who can do that. Well, tomorrow, let me just kind of forecast before the internet goes out again and I go into another long pregnant pause here. Tomorrow, we will certainly have better internet on my end, and we're going to talk to Bishop Leah Daughtry of the Democratic National Committee. Was she with the DNC? I'm not sure, but she's a Democratic operative. Leah doesn't even need a title. It's just Leah Daughtry. When she's just when you're just like one name in the Democratic circle, it's like Leah called. You know who that is. Leah Daughtry. She's going to call and bring us up to speed on what is happening behind the scenes within the Democratic Party and kind of get her take on where the country is going. There was a special election in Texas where a Trump-backed Republican lost to a quote-unquote Reagan Republican. Is this a turning point? Is it an outlier? I don't know. But I tell you who knows something about it is Leah Daughtry. Then on Friday, it's Feel Good Friday, Katia Woods is going to break down for us all things related to entertainment and going back into theaters and Broadway and, venues like that. And because it's, coming out of COVID. So Brother Phil says the pausing might be caused by the heat. Yeah, I say it's just crappy internet. So anyway, thanks, folks, for tolerating all of our glitches on today. I think it was still a great show. Shout out to Dr. French. Thank you, Kwesa, for holding it down. You had to work extra hard today. Hope you can get a long break between now and 7 a.m. for the next show. Wake up with WURD. Hey, folks, as Bishop Royster would say, if he were here today, go out and change the damn world. Because if you don't, nobody will. Peace.